Hello Bookish friends. In today's video I'm going to do a very special try a chapter. In my last Berna's Bookish bingo card I got a prompt of reading a chicklet book, and when I think of the genre of chicklet, which I mostly call general fiction or romance, depending on the emphasis, the booktuber that immediately came to my mind was Emily at Novelle Novels, who's a great friend of mine and one of my oldest friends since I joined BookTube. And I was actually thinking of asking her for suggestions, but immediately after she watched my video, she made the suggestion herself, which was how our minds sometimes think alike. And I was very pleased that she offered to recommend books herself. I just love her so much, and if you do not follow her, I strongly advise you to follow her, because she reads in many genres like I do, and she reads almost twice as much than me, so she will have lots of recommendations for you. And when I asked Emily for recommendations for chicklet authors, she recommended 5 authors: Heidi, Swain, Paige, Toon, Cathy, Bramley, Beth and Sarah Morgan. For this try a chapter video, I picked one book each from these authors. I will try a chapter or two from Coming Home to Cuckoo Cottage by Heidi Swain, The Last Piece of My Heart by Paige, Toon, My Kind of Happy by Cathy, Bramley, Flatshare by Beth, and last but not least, of course, One Summer in Paris by Sarah Morgan. The first book that I'm going to try is Coming Home to Cuckoo Cottage by Heidi Swain. I actually had not heard of this author before Emily mentioned it to me. So I'm very excited to read a book from her. So I read the first chapter of Coming Home to Cuckoo Cottage by Heidi Swain. In this first chapter, our heroine Lottie goes to the funeral of her grandmother's best friend, funeral, Gwen, and Gwen seems to be a very lively person who lived her life to the fullest. Because she was not married, she saw Lottie as her granddaughter, and in the first chapter we read about her funeral, which was full of laughter and colorful outfits and balloons, because that's what Gwen would have wanted and at the last paragraph of the chapter, somebody calls out for Lottie and asks who Lottie is. It seems like Lottie will inherit the cottage, which is of course the title of the book, from Gwen, and after the first chapter, I am certain that I will read this book. Because this is the first book, I cannot say that I will choose this book or not, but I liked the writing style. It was really easy to follow, and I really liked the positive mood of the book, and it is a book that I would certainly read when I want to feel in a good mood. And the book that I'm going to try a chapter of today is One Summer in Paris by Sarah Morgan. I just finished the first chapter of One Summer in Paris by Sarah Morgan. And I'm also interested in reading this book I liked the writing style, and I really liked how realistic the character of Grace was. In the first chapter, Grace is a happily married woman for 25 years. She has a teenage daughter, I think she's about 18 or 19, who's about to go to college. She has a awesome grandmother who lives in an assistant home. And in the first chapter, she goes out to celebrate her 25th wedding anniversary with her husband. But in that dinner, her husband tells her that she does not love her anymore, and she has an affair with another woman. And by the end of the dinner, he gets a heart attack, and he is taken to the hospital. I mentioned before, I'm really interested in reading this book as well. And I wrote a quote by the grandmother, Mimi, which I loved. Being yourself is the one thing every person should excel at. A great quote, isn't it? Even if I do not choose this book in this vlog, I will certainly read this book in the future. And the third book that I'm going to try for this vlog is The Last Piece of My Heart by Paige Toon. I read the prologue and the first chapter of The Last Piece of My Heart by Paige Toon. I also really like this book too. In the prologue, Bridget thinks that the reason that she cannot fall in love because she has left a very big piece of her heart in her first love, and she meets her first love, and they rekindle their romance. But her first love, her current boyfriend, gives her an idea to meet with all of her ex-boyfriends. And then in the first chapter we learn that she makes a blog about those reunions, and she has many followers. But when she thinks that she would be commissioned for a book, she is commissioned to finish a book by an author that passed away very, very young. And she reads the book, and at the end of the first chapter, she accepts to write the sequel to the book that was written by the late author. I was very much into the story very, very quickly, and I liked Paige Toon's writing style so much, and the fact that this book is about a book really makes it additionally interesting. Like the other previous two books, I will certainly put this book on my TBR as well. And now it is time to try My Kind of Happy by Cathy Bramley. I read the first chapter of My Kind of Happy, and in this chapter, Ferne and her best friend Laura goes to a spa and treatment center for a way to relax and to get, of course, beautiful. And in this chapter, we learn that Ferne has been trouble with something for the previous 8 months. It seems like Laura, her best friend, knows about it, but she does not know how seriously it affected Ferne. The chapter finished without us knowing what was bothering Ferne. After reading the first chapter of this book, I have to say this was the least exciting one for me. Maybe because we didn't learn about what was bothering Ferne, I couldn't really identify with the character, and also the writing style had a wit that I have to say I do not find very funny. But I will of course keep this book in my application and try reading a few more chapters after really deciding what to do with it. Now it's time to try the fifth book and the last book that I will try for this video. The Flatshare by Beth. I finished the first section of Flatshare. I'm really curious how two people using the flat at different times would work in this book. But I think I have to say a bit about the first section. In this section, Tiffy broke up with his boyfriend after many years. She cannot afford to pay the rent for a decent apartment building. The flats that she finds are either very faulty or very moldy. And she comes across an ad in which is given by a night nurse to share both the flat and the bed in the evening hours and at night, since that nurse is working in the evenings. It looks like the events will be told from Tiffy's point of view and the nurse's point of view in the second section. And I really like books with two points of view, especially romance books. Although this book fits more in chicklet category, this book is the one that is more close to a traditional romance. And I can say that I will definitely read this book in the future. And now it's the decision time for choosing the chicklet book from the authors that were recommended by Emily at Novelle Novels. After reading the 5 books, I liked 4 of them very much, and I will definitely put those books on my TBR. The book that I found a bit mediocre was My Kind of Happy by Cathy Bramley. So it is the book that I'm least interested in reading. The book on the 4th place became One Summer in Paris by Sarah Morgan. I think it was an interesting book, but the other 3 books actually catch my interest much more. But as I've said before, I will definitely read that book as well. The book on the 3rd place was Coming Home to Cuckoo Cottage by Heidi Swain. I thought the first chapter was very interesting, and it looks like a book that I will enjoy very much. I had hard time deciding which book that I liked the most, but I think with a very slight margin, the book on the 2nd place was Flatshare by Beth. I really did like the plot idea behind this book. And I am determined to read this book as well as the book in the first place, which is The Last Piece of My Heart by Paige Toon. First of all, the fact that it contained a book was the most appealing aspect of the book for me. I also really liked the writing style of Paige Toon, actually a bit more than all of the authors that I've tried. So that's why it took the first place in this vlog. But I think for Berna's Bookish Bingo, I will read both of the books. I will read The Last Piece of My Heart for the prompt of reading a book about a book. And I will read Flatshare for the chicklet book prompt. So this try a chapter experience helped me to find the book for another prompt, which was great. It looks like that I have found the right person to recommend me books. Thank you, Emily. You're the best. So this was my try a chapter video, in which I tried the authors that were recommended to me by Emily at Novelle Novels for a chicklet book. Please comment down below, have you read any of the books that I've tried in this video, and what did you think of them? And if you're a new viewer, first of all, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. For Turkish word of the day, since I chose the last piece of my heart, I thought peace could be the word of the day. Peace means parça in Turkish, and parça is our Turkish word of the day. Have a good day.